everyone, it's Taylor here. It's always a great day for a foiled rainbow, so let me walk you through how I created these cute cards using the Brighter Skies stamp set and coordinating dies, along with the Building Blocks Be Bright sentiment stamp with the coordinating die, and the Heart to Heart stencil along with Transfer Gel Duo from Deco Foil and Pixie Spray, and our exclusive Rainbow Bright foil pack. I'll be using the Nuvo spatula to apply the paste. I'll be using Oreo ink to stamp my images and doing some embossing with Versamark and my powder tool, along with both white and diamond embossing powder. For my adhesives, I have my foam adhesive square and my 1/2-inch sticky tape, along with removable scotch tape and an adhesive remover square. I'm going to start by placing down my stencil with Pixie Spray, waiting until it gets lightly tacky on the back after I've sprayed that stencil, and then I'm going to just tack the stencil down over the top, keeping that in place while I apply the wet gel so that it doesn't get underneath my stencil design as I'm applying. I'm scraping from top to bottom using my Nuvo spatula, and then I'll remove the stencil and do an additional piece of cardstock. I wanted to show you two different ways to do this, and so I'm going to go ahead and put that gel on the second piece of sugarcube cardstock. Again, just using that to lightly scrape over the top and fill those heart openings. I need to wash my stencil right away after I have the gel completed, and then I'll set these aside to dry, and we'll come back to that step a little bit later. So now I'm going to continue by stamping my images onto sugarcube cardstock using Oreo ink. I wanted to show you a fun way to get a clear embossed image and add a little extra sparkle, so I'm going to wash the black ink off of my stamp and re-stamp that with Versamark in the same spot, and then cover that image with the clear diamond embossing powder. So the embossing powder is clear, so you're going to see the black through it, but it's going to make this a sparkly black image. It's a little tough to pick up on camera, but it's a fun way to add some extra sparkle to your stamped images. I'm going to continue by coloring the image with Copic markers, starting with the lighter shade and then coming in with the darker shade to add extra dimension and shadows to each of the portions of the image. You can see it turned out super cute. It's an easy one to color and lots of fun when it's finished. Now we're going to come back to those panels. They took about 45 minutes to dry with that Deco Foil transfer gel. You do want to make sure that they're completely dry before you place your foil over the top. The Deco Foil Duo Transfer Gel can be used both with or without heat, so I wanted to show you both methods here. For this first method, I've placed my foil down and I'm not using any heat to apply it. I'm simply pressing with a bone folder onto the areas of the design that I want the foil to adhere to. You can see that I did have some trouble with tiny flecks of foil sticking to the Pixie Spray that I used on the back of the stencil in order to apply the Duo Gel. So in order to fix that problem, I grabbed my adhesive remover square and erased the little flecks of foil. But honestly, it was a little bit of a pain, kind of tedious, so I was hoping I would have better results with my Mink. This time I'm going to send it through to heat foil the design onto the Deco Gel. And you can see it comes out quite a bit better. I didn't have any of the leftover residue from the Pixie Spray. There were a couple flecks here and there that I easily got rid of, but it wasn't quite as tedious as what I had to do with the adhesive remover square. I colored another rainbow image off camera so I would have enough to finish 2 cards. I'm going to die cut the images with the coordinating die using my Scotch removable tape to place the die down and then send it through my Sidekick machine. I'll do that for both of the images, and then you can see how the pieces start to come together as I bring in the matching foiled panels to go with the cutely colored rainbows. I'm going to stamp my sentiments next, so I'll grab that Building Blocks Be Bright stamp and place it down over Oreo cardstock. I have my embossing powder tool that I'm rubbing over the entire surface of the cardstock in order to keep those embossing powder bits from sticking to the areas that I don't want them to stick to. So I've stamped in Versamark ink and I'm placing the white embossing powder over the top of that image. I'll heat it with my heat tool and then proceed to buff the excess powder off and die cut the image with the coordinating die. I use those 4 alignment squares to die cut all of those words in one pass through the machine. I cut 2 stitched vellum circles in order to pop the image up over the top so that it wasn't fading into the busy background. I'll combine the different words that I die cut from the building block set to create my sentiments that say you are bright and beautiful and sending you sunshine and rainbows. I've adhered the image onto the vellum and then popped the vellum circle up over the top of the card. Now I'm just placing some foam tape on the back of those sentiment strips, and then I'll adhere them underneath each of the rainbow images. So now that the card front panels are done, all I need to do is add them to a card base. I chose Oreo to match the sentiment color, and I'm just adhering those with my Scotch adhesive dot roller. And then I decided I wanted to do a little something to match the foil on the front to the inside of the card. I have 2 pieces of sugarcube cardstock, and I'm placing a piece of 1/2 inch sticky tape at the bottom of each piece of cardstock, and then using my bone folder to press the Rainbow Brights foil into that adhesive. You can see when I peel that away, the panels on the inside will match the foil design on the front, and I can just write my message and have a coordinating design from the front to the inside. So I hope you learned something new with today's video, and I hope you'll try this foil yourself. Thanks so much for tuning in. You can find all of these products at the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com.